Hello, everyone. Welcome to our transmission to support and empowering the Body Deva. Grateful to have each of you here, and the Council of Light is fully present, and they're just celebrating your willingness to evolve in a conscious way and to literally show up. Thank you for showing up. So inviting you each in your own unique way to receive that acknowledgement and the gratitude for you in taking your seat at the table for this time together to not only move into a more honoring perspective with regard to evolution, more empowering energetic stance with regard to the changes that are occurring right now at an accelerated, massive, like turbo boost rate, but also to support you in a more harmonious relationship with the Body Deva. And when we speak about the Body Deva, we are speaking about the nature spirit of Earth that you partner with to incarnate on the planet. And the Body Deva nature spirit has etheric fields, similar to the way you have etheric fields as a being of light, as an etheric, beautiful being of light, as a soul. And the nature spirit is of Earth. So because the Body Deva is an aspect of Earth, and Earth is going through a major ascension elevation right now, so is the Body Deva. And one of the little people in the balcony are stepping forward, one of the members of our team, the Council of Light, and they're inviting you to just take a moment to imagine. They're saying the Body Deva is like the horse you're riding. If you could imagine that you as a soul, as an etheric being, require a nature spirit, a horse, if you will. We'll use horse. You could think of it as a dragon or a dolphin or a unicorn or maybe a turtle, whatever animal resonates, that you're literally riding. And it's almost like to incarnate on Earth, we needed a horse to ride. We needed a turtle to ride. And so our Body Devas serve us in that way. And with that comes this next level of our own conscious evolution as a soul, and understanding in a conscious way and remembering, really, because we knew this before we incarnated, remembering that the Body Deva is basically what constitutes its etheric fields, its blueprint will reflect as the physical form. That's Body Deva. Different consciousness, different energetic fields. Your energetic fields as a soul are etheric and beautiful and lovely and dynamic and multidimensional, and you can connect to dimensions on and off planet that are very high vibe and amazing. And so it's this team effort where you as a soul riding literally in the body, you ride on the front of the body spine, you support and reminding the Body Deva and teaching the Body Deva really of what's possible beyond Earth. Because Earth has had a certain level of consciousness for a while, and it's been in a 3D classroom, if you will. And it's now in the midst of graduating to 5D and beyond as far as a classroom. So when we look at that, and I worked with this for those of you who've worked with me for a while, it's like from separation consciousness, we're graduating into unity consciousness, from separation to oneness, disconnected to connected, pretending to not be connected to source and knowing we are one with source. So that's really this process in the evolution. And so not only are we as a soul, many of us going through that process of remembering and letting go of the conditioning of separation, but so is the Body Deva, the nature spirit. And so just like you have your teams, your guides that journey with you in this incarnation, you also have this Body Deva nature spirit that journeys with you. And so we would invite you to just take a moment to imagine connecting with your Body Deva in a higher dimension that the body's calibrated for, because the Body Deva can go into higher dimensions that it's calibrated for, usually dimensions of Earth. And so at the level of your higher self, your body's higher self, you can simply connect to this beautiful nature spirit in whatever form it wants to show itself to you. And maybe at first it's a little shy or a little uncertain of what to do when you're looking at it, because maybe this is the first time you've acknowledged it, and that's okay. We've been in this process of awakening for some time, and we just weren't conscious yet, possibly, that we have this beautiful nature spirit partner. And it maybe wasn't conscious of itself, let alone us. So that's the process that is being moved through at this time, is that the Body Devas are first and foremost becoming self-conscious, self-aware. And that's step one. And then they're beginning to learn to discern the difference between their energetic fields, your energetic fields, others, so that they can get back into their sovereignty. And we as a soul are doing the same. So we're bringing in some energetic downloads and codes to really help support you in initiating, if you haven't yet already done so, this relationship with the Body Deva that is conscious and empowering and from a place of equanimity. Your team. You have certain roles to play. The Body Deva has certain roles to play. And the Body Deva nature spirit also has free will conscious choice, because it's a being. It's its own being. You are your own being. And so you can think of this kind of stepping into this relationship with the Body Deva as, how would I treat another person in my life that I was having a relationship with? They would have their own free will conscious choice. I would have my own free will conscious choice. And we would learn how to collaborate together. And always inviting the win-win, where everybody wins. It doesn't have to be from deprivation or lack energy, that, oh, well, I have to give up this or that in order to have this relationship. And it's actually not true. So we're going to bring in, it's just being shown there's some of that going on energetically. We're going to bring in a protocol here to support you and your Body Deva in remembering what you knew prior to this incarnation. And so taking a deep breath, inviting you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva's higher self, and your teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to go back in time prior to this incarnation, where you were standing on the platform prior to launch. And you're there, your team members are there, your Body Deva's there, its team members are there, the guides and advisors that work with you, the angelic beings of love and light that are supporting you. Maybe Gaia at the level of her higher self is there to help oversee, because literally we were invited by her to come, and we were chosen, and we volunteered, and it was this beautiful collaboration from oneness. So inviting you to connect to and remember that collaboration energy, the win-win. We're all in this together. Inviting you to connect to every single moment of planning that took place as you planned this incarnation, as you planned various incarnations where you incarnated probably with the same Body Deva, that there's a lot of planning involved. In other words, we make sure that we're going to incarnate with the compatible Body Deva. We look at what our goals are, what its goals are. Are they congruent? Are they cohesive? And then we run iterations of rehearsals over and over and over until we decide on this plan for this incarnation. And it's collaborative. Everybody wins. We find the iteration where everybody gets the pieces they're after. And it's joyful and it's empowering and it's loving and it's from unity. It's life supporting life. There's not a me and a them, it's an us. So we're going to show you what we mean by that. The we. Good. And now we're going to expand that a little bit, inviting those who are ready to connect to the bigger we as a humanity. And then the bigger we as the galactic, all planets and beings. And we're still in the win-win. It's all been accounted for. The big we, the one life expressing itself. There isn't an adversary from that place. It's seen through a lens of, if there is an adversary in this incarnation, it's because we chose it and they're playing the role we're asking them to play as the catalyst for this win-win agenda that we've planned out every single breath and moment, and we've synced it up with the allness of all life so that it's supportive for all life, not just me in this body, Deva. And so as you allow for that multidimensional perspective to begin to integrate, we invite you to connect to the divine perfection of the allness that is. And we invite you to connect to how supported and safe you are. We invite your body, David, to connect to how safe and supported it is. And how it's an aspect of the allness. And then zooming back into the inner circle of you, your body, Deva, your team. It's an aspect of that wholeness as well. And think of it as a circle. Circle of light. And inviting you, your body, your teams to remember the love and appreciation that you have for each other. Acknowledging each other as part of that sacred circle. Acknowledging your team members, your guides and advisors as a part of that sacred circle. And rippling that to you in the present moment. That remembering. And with that, the remembering of what you're here to be, do, and have, not necessarily physically in the physical dimension, because we use that to get certain things activated within ourselves as a soul. The body Deva uses it to evolve itself in a certain way. We use it to evolve ourselves in a certain way. But that's an aspect of it. But just inviting you to bring your reference points for what you're here to be, do, and have off of just the external world and the physical realm, allowing you to reference within your multidimensional self at your core level from this transmission of you prior to this incarnation. It's like, what am I really here to be, do, and have? Body Deva same, team same. And as we do this, we're going to invite the Body Deva and you as a soul, if you choose, to awaken more to your free will conscious choice, which is an aspect of your power. And to retrieve anywhere you gave it away, which sounds weird, but it's like in certain incarnations, we may have given up our free will in order to be loved or in order to feel safe or supported or whatever it was. And we may have given it up to a tribe or a group. So just inviting you, your body, your teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to retrieve all of your free will, your literal power of choice off of everyone and everything in all dimensions where you express yourself, where you gave it away. It could be in the past or the future or in the present. Retrieving that now, cleaning it, recalibrating it for your current level of consciousness, re-embedding it in your energetic fields and reweaving it appropriately around you. And you may feel it around the throat area or the solar plexus. I'm being shown the throat. Retrieving that aspect of your power. Moving into a whole and healed state with regard to all those lessons you were meant to learn through those experiences of giving your power away or allowing it to be taken. Inviting you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva's higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to activate the mastery of those lessons now in the appropriate order, in the appropriate dimensions, in the appropriate timing. To release any trauma, return any responsibility you're holding that doesn't belong to you regarding those lessons, retrieve all responsibility for you being in your power, for you having free will conscious choice off of everyone and everything, and holding it at the level of your higher self. Body Deva's higher self and teams. Where you can. And you hold responsibility for you being in your free will conscious choice and literally in your own will, allowing your higher self to hold that responsibility. And the guides are saying it this way, and Jesus is actually stepping forward as an aspect of the Council of Light, and he's saying, thy will be done. Allowing you to receive that in a deeper way, meaning thy will, the divine will, which is you at the level of your higher self. It's you, it's not separate from you. Will you retrieve that now if you've given it away to something external from you? Holding at the level of your higher self, really at the divine spark level where you're in the heart of source, where you're part of source itself. There's no separation. We're going to show you what we mean by that. Inviting you and your Body Deva to do this, the teams to do this. Body Deva, you're going to find your divine spark in the heart of Gaia, in the heart of source. We're going to help reorient Body Devas to their divine spark. As you reorient to your divine spark that's in the heart of source, it's an aspect of source itself, it's not separate. And inviting you, your body, your teams to activate the remembering of your truth in the purest form from that divine spark of you, rippling it down through your entire divine column of light, pillar of light, and through your entire divine cosmic loop, filling yourself up with the truth of you as one with source, fully empowered, fully free, and giving yourself permission, if it's applicable, for you to be in your own choice, your own free will. Maybe you didn't even realize on a conscious level that you were waiting for something outside of you to choose for you, when all this time life has been waiting for you to choose because you're the authority. So inviting you to move back into that space and place of the authority for you and your Body Deva for itself. Again, you are the etheric being riding in the body, The Body Deva, physical human form, is a reflection of the Body Deva's energetic fields, an aspect of the Body Deva's blueprint, allowing the Body Deva to move into its own authority of itself again, inviting it to do so. So anywhere you have been trying to choose for the Body Deva or control the Body Deva, or just because simply you weren't aware that there was a Body Deva that was actually in charge of the physical form, will you give all responsibility and power back to the Body Deva to choose for itself and to be responsible for itself? Because when the Body Deva is holding the responsibility for itself, it will thrive. It will begin to move into its next highest expression on its own. It knows what to do. It has mastery of that, just like nature has mastery of that in its undistorted expression, when it's not being influenced by distortion, we'll just call it separation consciousness. So we're going to invite the Body Deva to remember it's an aspect of the nature fabric of Earth, and we're going to invite it to link in to the new Earth, fifth dimensional Gaia, nature fabric, pulling all of its energy out of discordant dimensions that are actually leaving the planet, dissolving, retiring, and plugging into, wiring into the coherent dimensions of Earth that are coming into being. They're coming online. We're ascending to those frequencies where those grids actually already exist. Link into those grids. Body Deva. Good. I actually just felt my voice change. I don't know if you noticed that. Moving the Body Deva into that next level very gently, very gracefully, allowing it to do it for itself. And you might even see it as like these vines, these nature vines growing in this other direction now that are linking into these coherent dimensions of Earth. And just reminding the Body Devas that they don't have to fix the discordant dimensions. And it's not about weaving light into the discordant dimensions and the discordant grids. Those grids are actually leaving, dissolving, retiring. Let's bring in the new grids. Let's link into the new grids that already exist, that we've already woven for ourselves in higher dimensions, that Gaia has already woven in her fifth dimensional and beyond state. And linking into those coherent grids, which for those of you who are very empathic, will lighten the load considerably in your empathic sensitivity, reactivity to what's leaving the planet right now. We can witness what's leaving the planet without trying to fix or change it or link into it. And we're going to invite the Body Devas now to literally readjust their energetic ears, their perception mechanisms for the coherent dimensions. Listening there, receiving from there, gathering data, information from there, instead of what's leaving, what's retiring. Because as long as we empower the grids that are basically trying to dismantle and disintegrate, we're kind of keeping them in place. We're literally holding them together. And when we, and you can do this as a soul as well, bring all of your energy out of those discordant dimensions, those grids that are leaving the planet. And instead weave into, link into the coherent dimensions, fifth dimensional Gaia and beyond. And for you as a soul, maybe in the world you're from, linking into those coherent grids. We're going to invite the Council of Light to support each of you, your spiritual families to support each of you, and linking into the appropriate dimensions that are coherent, that are supportive, that are safe, that are, they're from oneness. So they contain the possibilities of the win-win. They contain the synchronicity and the flow and the expansion and the joy and the inspiration and the creativity and the remembering of who you are. And so if you've been feeling a little lost or disconnected, inviting you to release all the stories around that and to simply invite your higher self to link you into the coherent dimensions that are home to you. And I'm being shown little trouble finding our footing, because as we ascend and as these discordant grids dissolve, especially body devas have a really hard time with keeping their balance, keeping their footing, if they're linked into what's leaving. And we can get a little wobbly, we can get a little disoriented. So we're just going to bring in some energetic downloads and formulas to support the body devas in reorienting appropriately to the trajectory of ascension, to where we're going, linking in, inviting the future selves of the body devas 3 months from now, 3 years from now, 30 years from now, to send appropriate energetic information to them in the past, to build the energetic bridges, to the footsteps to follow this way, this direction. It's like the body devas can get disoriented a little bit in this massive influx of accelerated transformation. It's like, which way is up? I've lost my, like I'm being shown this idea of us being really far underwater in the ocean, and we can get disoriented as to which way is up. And so we're just going to help the body deva. It's like I'm being shown the idea of bubbles, right? Watch the bubbles. Which way are the bubbles going, body deva? That's the direction to flow. And helping the body devas get their footing, inviting the body devas to ground more, to balance more, to stabilize more in the dimensions that are coherent in a way that they can. Inviting the guides and advisors and the enlightened nature spirits to surround the body deva and to show it how to ground appropriately for this current massive, it's like lightness that's happening. This is unprecedented for the body devas. They are of earth, and earth is just now ascending. You as a soul have been in these energies before, because you've ascended before. You've been in much higher dimensions before. But for the body devas, this is new. This is new terrain. So we're just going to help them orient in the new terrain. Bringing in body deva, bring in your own unique grounding mechanisms, your own unique ways of being, your own unique magnetic grids, adjusting your magnetics appropriately to balance the electrical, balancing your energetic ears appropriately, the eyes, the throat, weaving the base chakra for more stability, to live in this new terrain. So we're just watching that. Syncing up with fifth dimensional Gaia, allowing Gaia to send you appropriate energetic information to orient appropriately. Good. And for the body devas, I'm hearing anaitehe, anaitehe. Deep breath in. The other thing that's occurring is that each of you in your own unique way, and the body devas as well, are reweaving all of your grids. You're changing out your grids for the new earth, for the new phase. It's literally the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. We're in it. And so there's a way to do this in a conscious way, which is what we do in these sessions. It really supports stability, grace and ease, empowerment, consciously evolving instead of it just happening by default in right, kind of willy-nilly a little bit, even though it's still happening, it's maybe not as pretty. And so when we do these sessions, what we do is we literally do the grid work. And even though I may not always give voice to everything that's happening, you're invited to choose in a conscious way. So we ask a lot of questions. Would you be willing to move into this? Would you be willing to let go of that? And that's really how it's facilitated, because it's all through your free will conscious choice, which is very empowering. It allows you to anchor more empowerment for you, more empowerment for the Body Deva. All right, deep breath in. Inviting you and your body even now to bring in the appropriate transmissions for yourselves from your higher selves, your teams in the higher dimensions, the masters and angels working with you, the council of light, if that's appropriate, your spiritual family, that can support you in what you're in at this particular moment. A lot of times when we're asking for help, when we're asking for support, what we're really, really, really deeply wanting is to remember certain vibrations. So inviting this to happen way beyond the conscious mind, receiving it energetically first. And if you see or witness in your own unique way, that's fine. It's perfect. Good. Another wave. So I'm just watching. It's like the first wave came in and it was integrated, and now there's another wave. Some of this, again, is communication. It could be from Gaia, spiritual families, your higher self, your future self, whatever would be most supportive. Same for Body Deva. It's really what you've set up for yourself to receive at this time. And you just created a way for you to do it. Care packages from home, I'm hearing. Some of this is care packages from home. And there's a message coming forward now. And there's so much love in this, so much compassion. And they're just saying, dear ones, do not be discouraged. Do not allow appearances to sway you from the knowing that everything is rebirthing at this time into a much more honoring and light-filled, illumined expression. The old must dissolve for the new to birth. And so anytime you notice something destructive happening in the outer world, recognize that that's what's leaving. They're saying anytime you notice anything loud in the outer world, just recognize that's what's leaving. That's what's dissolving. And you can hold a safe space for it to do that. The same way you would hold a safe space for a chick to hatch from an egg. It looks like destruction is occurring, but actually this beautiful life is being born. And so you're encouraged to really connect to your knowing of that and how that is woven in to why you are here at this time to support in this rebirth, in this renewal. And as a soul riding with a Body Deva in your own pod, with your Body Deva and your team and the angelic beings working with you, you can do that by supporting the Body Deva in its hatching. The Body Deva is hatching right now into a much higher expression. And it's brand new. Body Devas haven't done this before on Earth, not on Earth. And so recognize the level of mastery that you hold to be at this seat, at this table, recognizing that in a conscious way, that that's what's happening. And if you're willing to make the free will conscious choice to hold a safe space for the Body Deva to hatch, and to begin to ask questions like, I wonder what it would take for this to occur with as much grace and ease as possible. I wonder what it would take for me to hold a safe and supportive space for the Body Deva to do its thing right now and to hatch in its own unique way, in an empowering way, in a supportive way, where it feels really safe in its becoming its next level. And that in and of itself is a level of mastery that you hold, to be willing to do that within your pod for your Body Deva and members of your Body Deva's team that are nature spirits also. They're also evolving massively right now. All nature spirits on the planet are. It's a transformation taking place. And it can be joyful and it can be sacred and it can be loving. And it's what we choose to connect to. It's how we choose to perceive it. We can choose to perceive that something's going wrong, or we can choose to know that miracles are occurring. The miraculous is coming into being, and we get to witness it. We get a front row seat to the new, to Earth hatching into this beautiful new expression, new classroom, new platform, new playground for learning. And as we're in this very sacred place of witnessing what's leaving, retiring, we can also turn to welcome what's coming in and to acknowledge what's hatching. It can be both. And I'm being shown this idea of many of us, including Body Devas, kind of waiting to see the blooming done. And we're focused on it's not here yet. When's it going to be here? And the thing is, we're the bridges to usher it in. It's not waiting. It's like we think we're waiting on it, but it's waiting on us. I'm going to show you. We're going to bring in what we mean by that. It's waiting for us to witness it, to choose it with our free will, to direct in that direction of the new is here, we've arrived, to begin to celebrate the new. Even in the midst of this changeover, we're in this sweet spot right now where we can witness what's leaving, and we can also witness what's birthing. And as we witness what's birthing, we help to anchor it. We say more please to the honoring, to what's available, because there are potentials energetically and possibilities energetically that we can touch now more easily than ever before, because the energies have already elevated so much. could say here on planet Earth, but that's a little misleading because it's more than that. It's an aspect of it. And so inviting you in your own unique way to redirect energetically. And I'm being shown this happening more energetically than with the linear mind. So inviting you at the level of your higher self, Body Deva's higher self and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to literally locate your energy of focus. And I'm being shown it like little feelers or little fingers in certain things where focus has been directed in certain ways. And to literally redirect that creative energy, that focus, into the coherent directions, dimensions, empowering dimensions, inspirational dimensions, where you can access these amazing potentials that are there to begin to live heaven on earth now. And again, it's waiting on you to choose it, where many of us, I think, have been sitting and waiting for it to just show up. And they're saying, think of it in terms of frequency and dimensions. It already exists, and it's waiting for you to attune to it, to bring it into being. In some dimension, one way of pointing to this is the hatching has already occurred. So inviting you to access that dimension energetically, and you do it by not efforting and trying to do it with the mind, but asking your higher self to do it for you. Higher self, will you locate this dimension beyond the hatching? And then this is challenging for me to put into words, but it's like almost like an energetic bridge is then built where you know what steps to take to bring that into being. A part of you knows because you've made the request to your higher self to access it, to locate it. Now we know where it is. Now we know what we're looking for because that's what we actually desire. The other thing that we actually desire, kind of winking back to the platform prior to this incarnation, is to complete our bucket list. What are we here really to be, do, and have? What are we really here to activate within ourselves? And because we're awake and aware enough, can we just choose to activate those vibrations in the appropriate dimensions, in the appropriate order, in the appropriate timing through our free will conscious choice? And the answer to that is yes. Shortcut. Instead of having to go through a grueling, struggle-based hatching experience, make a request for you to activate in the appropriate dimensions, in the appropriate order, in the appropriate timing, everything you were meant to learn through that hatching experience. Everything you were really after. Ooh, I wanted more courage or more strength or more empowerment. Or I wanted to believe in myself more. Or I wanted maybe more clarity in a certain way. Maybe it was a willingness to let go of the struggle as a way of being. And we don't have to consciously know what those pieces are. A part of us knows. So just invite that part of you that knows to literally activate those vibrations within you. If it's courage, turn up the volume of courage. If it was strength, crank it up. Body Deva, same. You can invite the Body Deva to do this for itself because its bucket list might be a little bit different than yours. So we invite the Body Deva at the level of its higher self to work with the energetic fields and the guides to remember and access what it was after in this hatching process. And activate those vibrations now, to activate all vibrations of the spiritual lessons it was meant to learn through the hatching itself. And we're just watching that now. And we're going to invite the teams to do the same in their own unique way. Your teams, your Body Deva's teams. You might feel the expansion. You might feel a release of tension where we were trying to struggle to get to a certain place when we can just literally ask for it. Choose it. And then collaborate with our higher self. And same for Body Deva. We can make a request for the Body Deva to do it for itself and then not attached to it doing it. It can do it when it wants to do it. Good. Balance and stabilize. Inviting a balancing and stabilizing of all the energetic fields, updating your grids, your reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Beautiful. I can feel like these next layers start to drop in, and it's interesting because this feels like we're in the immersion energy of the Body Deva Immersion Weekend, which is coming up the end of the month. It's actually going to be held April 29th through May 1st. And it's accelerated hatching. The guides are saying it's accelerated hatching, but it's all with grace and ease. And it's designed for 3 days because it's like we gain a certain momentum. It'd be like kind of getting a certain workout in the gym where you go and you work certain muscles and then you rest. And then you go in again and you work certain muscles and then you rest. And then there's this last push on day 3, where that's usually more of a wrap up and an integration, and we tie up any loose ends. But there's a momentum that is harnessed when we meet for consecutive days like that. And so you can feel into whether or not it's for you. It's really designed to support the Body Deva in its renewal so that this can occur beyond struggle. We can simply choose in favor of the upgrades. We can simply walk through systematically what's being called forth. And depending on who signs up, it's interesting how it can kind of, it becomes its own unique expression depending on who takes their seat at the table, because it truly is a collaboration. And the higher selves of everyone there, higher selves of all the Body Devas there, design what's actually done in the session work. And then there's work done beyond our time together in the physical realm that supports in an even greater way and expands in an even greater way the work that's done in the physical realm. And it's all done based on you as a multidimensional being at the level of your higher self, recognizing that you are multidimensional and you can do the heavy lifting in the higher realms. So one of the things that I find interesting about this particular offering is that when I was shown, I just always ask, what's the most supportive to offer at this time? And so they showed me the Council of Light brought forward this 3-day weekend immersion for the Body Deva. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I noticed that it was a new moon in Taurus. And I'm like, wow, that's powerful. Because they gave me the dates before I knew any of that. Because the Taurus sign is all about Earth. Body Deva is an aspect of Earth. It's all about kind of physical Earth energies, but also then the etheric Earth energies. And the new moon, of course, is all about welcoming the new. So perfect rebirth energy. And then I became aware of about a week ago that it's also solar, basically solar eclipse, which amplifies all of that immensely, more potent. It's more now of a massive spotlight on this new moon in Taurus, where it's a pivot point. Anytime we have an eclipse, it's like an opportunity for a reset, because all the energies, again, are supporting that. The energetic environment is conducive for that kind of massive shift in consciousness and in evolution. So when I say pivot point, that's usually like this idea of, if you think of a ship and it's moving and it's like a big ship. So if it wants to turn, sometimes it can take it a while to turn if it's a big ship and it's got a lot of momentum in a certain direction. When we have an eclipse energy, it's easier to turn. It's easier to pivot, to go in a new direction, which it doesn't mean we have to go in a completely new direction, but the energies are ripe to support that if it's for the highest good. So if there's something you've kind of been wrestling with as an issue for a while, as a challenge that you thought, you know what, I'm just going to have to put up with this. And it feels like this ship has been moving in this direction for a long time and it would take a lot to shift it. It's kind of what we're speaking to, where the energies during that time are more malleable. It's easier to shift. It's also a willingness that's there to shift like never before. And so you can feel into that aspect of it as well. It's just another aspect of the offering of the energetic environment that is being highlighted. Good. I'm just asking the guides if there's anything else with that. Well, they're also saying the solar eclipse has to do with power. They're showing me the power center. Thus, this idea, when we named this kind of precursor tonight about empowering the Body Deva, knowing it's precursor really for that weekend immersion, it's really about moving back into its seat of power. A fully empowered Body Deva will be able to literally regenerate itself. It's using all of its creative energy and its mastery on itself for itself. It's fully in its own sovereignty, its free will choice. And it's kind of what you might think of as what people call the superhuman of the future. And again, it's this idea of, do we really have to wait as long as we think we have to wait for that evolutionary process? Or can we, because we're conscious and aware enough and we have the multidimensional tools, begin to shift consciousness in a conscious way to accelerate that process? And so you can feel into that for you. And we're just also going to bring in some energetic downloads now to support you and your Body Deva in connecting to what that weekend represents energetically and who it is, who you are kind of as a team. If you decide to do it, it's like letting your future self send you that information. Because that just helps you get the clarity on what the choice even is. And at this time, we're really being guided to let go of all of our linear thinking as a way of choosing and to move more into our multidimensional ways of choosing, where we can literally access the future and see, will this create more for me? And then the choice becomes, okay, do I want the shortcut or do I want to struggle a bit more to get there and take the long route? And it's fine. Either one's fine. There's no judgment. It's just having all the information so that you can choose. And it's not that our offering is the only shortcut. I'm sure there are many others out there. But it's available if it resonates for you. And we do still have seats available to join us live that weekend. And it will be part interactive. So we do a transmission kind of 45 minutes or so, and then we interact for 45 minutes or so, and we follow the energy. Again, time kind of goes out the window a little bit because I flow with the energy. We always just follow the energy. And then we maybe take a 5-10 minute break, and then we'll dive in again for another probably hour and a half. So it's like these increments of, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then break. And so we'll do a session Friday evening, depending on where you are in the world, for 2.5 hours. And then the next day, it's about 3 hours, maybe 3.5. And then the next day, 3 to 3.5. So it'll be over 9 hours is my, I said over 8 hours, but I think that's conservative. Usually we tend to go long. I think it says over 8 hours in the description of session time. But again, remember that we're doing work outside of the session time as well, vis-a-vis your higher selves and your body's higher selves. So it's a lot in a weekend. It's a lot in a weekend. We'll just say it like that. The other thing about our offerings is that as soon as you enroll, you begin to receive in preparation. And it's like the container is there. When I talk about an energetic container, it's really, if you think of a room that you would go into, a sacred chamber, where there's all of this safety and support and love and compassion, and it's like protection, but it's really just safety. And you're being held in this container, in this chamber, for you to grow, shift, and evolve yourself for the duration of that period of interacting with us. And again, it begins the moment you enroll, because that's when you initiate that energetic exchange. That's when you say, through your free will conscious choice, yes, and it starts the flow of energy. And they always show it to me like an infinity symbol. The contribution happens, the energetic contribution happens, and then it's matched. And sometimes, beyond matched, right? But the energies do like to stay in balance, the energies of giving and receiving, if you will. It's really all one energy. I always say giving and receiving are expressions of the same energetic of abundance. They're really the same. So we'll bring that energetic download in to support you in moving into that way of being in oneness, where it's no longer a separation-based system of exchange. Because when you're in that energetic flow of the contribution and the receiving, it's like a lot of the programming that we've had in the past, and this is Body Deva, so we'll bring this in for Body Deva too. Ancestral programming, they're showing me, where it's more virtuous to give than receive. Our receptors literally got contracted. Like, instead of our receptors and Body Deva's receptors being open to receive, they literally did this. Nope, can't receive, not virtuous. Tribe won't see me as valuable if all I do is receive. So what we learned in that kind of is that we stopped the flow. We literally stopped the flow that wants to be going 24/7. And so we're going to invite you, your body, your teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to bring in, it's like the review of all the lessons you were meant to learn, Body Deva, same team, same, from shutting down of the receptivity. For some of you, that's why you're in pain, the guides are saying. Body Deva is in pain because it's literally clenching, shutting down its receptivity. So we're just going to show it who it is. Actually, they want to do it a different way. Give me a moment. First piece, we invite you, your body, your teams to be reminded what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe to receive. Showing you all the lessons you're meant to learn through the not receiving, activating the vibrations of those lessons now in the appropriate order, appropriate timing, appropriate dimensions, reflecting that into the now. Let that integrate. They're showing me Body Deva mainly here, so we're going to work with the Body Deva for a moment. We're going to invite the Body Deva to bring all of its reference points for its value, for its worth, off of everyone and everything, especially others and how it's perceived by others in the tribe, in the world. Bring all your reference points for your value back to your beam of light, your pillar of light. You as a soul can do this too. Your value is your light, is your essence. It's lovely, it's precious, it's irreplaceable. It is a gem and a jewel in and of itself. Inviting you, your body, your teams to retrieve all responsibility for you valuing you off of everyone and everything back to you. So you hold the responsibility at the level of your higher self for you valuing you, for you acknowledging your own value, not waiting for others to do it for you, not waiting for experiences to show it to you. Inviting you, your body, your teams to activate at the level of your higher selves the knowing of your value, the knowing of your worth at a core level. Rippling that down through your pillar of light. Good. Body Deva, you are part of the nature fabric of Earth. Link back in. Knowing your value is an aspect of Gaia herself. Getting pulsed by Gaia. The rhythm and the flow. Abundance just is. Infinite resources. Good. So inviting the Body Deva nature spirit to link in to an appropriate dimension where it can remember it has mastery of receiving as an aspect of nature. And to go to that appropriate dimension of Earth where it's receiving, it's already receiving in a massive way. It's in the flow. Its gift, its giving is just being what it is. It's its essence. It doesn't have to effort or earn to receive. Allowing your value to reflect in all that you're receiving. So I'm being shown the Body Deva literally as part of nature in a dimension where it's like taking on different forms of nature. It could be certain animal forms. And as that animal or as that plant or that element of earth, it's receiving massive amounts of whether it be nutrients or mana or elixir, being shown like a liquid, nurturing, and receive it there 10,000 times more, 20,000 times more, 30,000 times more than you'd ever need to receive it there. So you can remember how to receive and then reflect it to yourself here. Good. And now we're going to invite any grids the body's running, any empathic energies the body's running that don't belong to it, that are ancestral or somebody else's that it was trying to shift, that were in lack or not receiving, not loving themselves, not valuing themselves. Return all of that back to them along with all relevant and appropriate energetic information, empathic sensations, issues, karma, magnetic attraction, soul. You can do it too. Teams, same. Return, return, return. All that stuff that isn't yours. It's humanity's maybe, because you wanted humanity to know their worth. Give it back to them, because you can't shift it for them. We did a whole series on that, by the way, if you want to connect to it. It's called Abiding in Sovereignty. And it was a massive cleanup. It's a massive cleanup of all these pieces where we've taken on stuff that doesn't belong to us and we're trying to process it. And then it's affecting our experience of ourselves because it's reflecting in our world as lack and limitation, even though we know oneness. So keep returning all that stuff that doesn't belong to you. Send them appropriate energetic information and the responsibility for shifting it, because that's their fuel for their evolution. They'll shift it when they're ready. Giving humanity responsibility back for itself. It'll hatch when it's ready. Everyone will hatch in their own timing. It's all perfect. We don't have to wait for them to hatch to have our own hatching. Deep breath in, balancing, stabilizing, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. The last piece here, they show me, we're going to do, we're going to connect to the lion energy. But first, let's see, there's something else they want to. Okay, so they just want to share a little bit. Normally, once a month, we'll do an Embodied Divine Light session, and we're not going to be doing one for May because we've got a lot going on in May, including this immersion that we're doing at the beginning of the month. It starts the 29th of April, but it goes through May 1st. And then we also are going to be doing a group two group energetic sessions. We've started doing empowered energetic support sessions. We're going to be doing 2 of those in May. And then we're also doing, we're going to begin the Sacred Circle, for 3 months, beginning May 7th. And we'll be uploading a video to kind of introduce you to the Sacred Circle energy here in a day or so. You can check our YouTube channel for that. All of the other events you can find on our website. And in fact, we're also doing an empowered energetic support session this Saturday that is a combination of a transmission and interactive support. It's kind of for those who want to do a private session, but it's maybe easier to do a group session. So that's really why we're offering that as extra support at this time. So you can learn more about that on our website as well at embracingtheinfinite.com. And as well as this weekend immersion that we'll put a link to in the description once we post it to our YouTube channel. So you can find more information out about the weekend immersion, where we'll continue to move through various layers of what appears to be holding us back in the hatching process, and literally just land both feet in the beyond the hatching, where we can begin to experience that as our world. You know, each of you is meant to be a way shower. Each of you is meant to go first. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be in this session if that wasn't a part of your blueprint. And so you might begin to ask yourself, I wonder what it would take for me to begin to claim and express and experience the new earth that I deeply desire in the quickest, fastest, most harmonious way possible. And whatever doesn't allow that, will you release and uncreate it? Because we can get confused, we can get disoriented even as a soul in this massive time of changeover, where we think, again, it's about waiting. And that can be a part of it, being patient, holding a safe space for changes to occur. But there's also this other aspect of, again, being the bridge for the new and beginning to turn to welcome what's birthing, and recognizing that that's a choice, and that that choice has power, and that that choice is actually equivalent to a portal, where now, instead of just focused here on what's happening currently, you've created a window, you've opened a doorway to what wishes to birth. And you each will have your own unique way of turning to welcome the new in a conscious way. And so we encourage you to work with your higher selves, and encourage your Body Devas to work with their higher selves in a conscious way or in dream time, to begin to generate these pathways, these portals. And it really starts with your choice to begin to turn to welcome the new. And you can even say every day, I'm choosing to turn to welcome the new, to welcome the more honoring, to welcome the higher octave. I'm choosing to welcome that. And this is all part of increasing the receptivity as well to welcome. So our hands are open to receive. So I love how that links in. I always am amazed by how it all links together. It's amazing. Beautiful. Okay, so lion energy. And this is for you as a soul, but we're going to work mainly with the Body Deva, and you can do it along with us. And you each will have your own unique interpretation of this. And that's okay. We're going to invite the Body Deva at the level of its higher self to work with the energetic fields and the guides to locate an appropriate dimension of Earth where it is the lion. Maybe it locates an incarnation where it actually incarnated as the lion. And you as a soul, your teams can do this as well in your own unique way, where you connect to the energetics, the blueprint, the expression of the lion. And we're going to invite the Body Deva in this other dimension to literally embody that lion energy. And there's a lot of aspects to this. It's not just about power, although that is an aspect. There's a wisdom, there's a certainty, there's a knowing, there's a trust, there's a camaraderie, there's a safety, a support, a protection, a knowing, a clarity. And just inviting that remembering now far beyond the mind, because some of these qualities don't have words. Body Deva, remember you as the lion. Inviting that to activate and to ripple to you here, to be remembered. A gentle, graceful way, in a way that meets you at your current level of consciousness, that weaves appropriately, complements in a coherent way all that you're choosing to create for yourself as we embark in the new terrain together, empowered, strong, sovereign, supported, courageous, brave, knowing that we're safe and supported. So no fear. There's a trust. And there's a trust in our own light. It's a trust in the divine flow and intricate plan that took place prior to this incarnation in collaboration with all that is. We're not trusting anything outside of ourselves. We're trusting us as an aspect of oneness and oneness itself that we're a part of, that is us. We invite a balancing and stabilizing of your energetic fields, allowing this to continue to ripple and support you far beyond the mind as you journey and navigate the days, the weeks, the months, the years ahead. May you remember and know who you are as the one who is fully empowered in a way that is conscious, honoring, grounded, stable, encouraging, and supportive. Much gratitude to each of you, and we will upload this soon to our YouTube channel at Omaji and Daria on YouTube. And feel free to send us any feedback you have, any questions you have about anything that we talked about or shared in tonight's session. You can connect with us on our website at embracingtheinfinite.com. And thank you again for showing up and for being willing to evolve in a conscious way. Much love.